Are back. We are back. Another live from Fayettenam Friday. The one and only Paul Masson. And we got a special guest coming on in a little while. He just sent me a voice message, said he's in Manhattan. He's gonna try to go stop somewhere real quick and pull up and knock out this interview. Um do a little topic later. The juicy topic of today is Kendrick getting picked for the Super Bowl and everybody mad because it wasn't Lil Wayne. So we're gonna talk about that later. Appreciate anybody tuning in right now. Whoever's tuning in on the Paul Pickett Facebook, appreciate you. Make sure you comment. Waiting on our guest to come on. While I'm waiting on the guest, I put a couple posts in Reddit. I've been doing pretty good on Reddit. Last post I did a couple days ago got about 100,000 views in like a little over 24 hours. But I put a little post about our guest tonight, which is Elder Sensei. So we put who is a fan of this album between a rock and a hard place. Got about 12,000 views. Got some comments in here. First one says, "I'm out to bomb like Vietnam under the same name, Tame One." Yeah, definitely. That everyone should be a fan of it. I agree. A 10 out of a 10. It's definitely underrated. Tame One goes hard throughout the entire album. Awesome album. Coming Through Your Fucking Block is probably the best song next to Wrong Side of the Track. Lower the Boom. You got to Lower the Boom. Classic album. What it says, Chop Suey Express says, I remember recording the music video for this off of Ralph McDaniel's VMB video music box, basically back when I first heard it. So fucking underground and respected perfectly with 14-year-old me and my graph addiction about the album, and it's a follow-up both upon release. RIP Tame One, Brick City. Yeah, and that song was definitely had a lot of graffiti influence into it and whatnot. So as a graffiti artist, he says as his graph addiction got him into buying the album. Thanks for the post. Pulled up the album on YouTube. Very dope. So this person probably never even checked it out, and now they think of me like, yeah, this is a really good album. I like this, but I think Tame's best performance is on Leak Brothers by far. Okay, real grab shit up, and I think our guest come in. I'm just waiting on his camera to connect. I see he popped up, but it says device not connected. He'll probably come right back in. Um, Wore that album out. Absolutely. Me, this album was the one that got me into hip hop in the 90s. It probably got most play of all the tapes I ever owned. Classic, so many bangers on this one. Still be listening to it. Yeah, everybody like that's commenting. This one says top 10 to 20 album for me. In my top 10 for sure. Yeah, so that's the people that got that album in their top 10. The artifacts between a rock and a hard place. And there's definitely some graffiti artists that definitely loved it. Definitely loved it. Just waiting on Elder Sensei. Up, he's messaging me right now. Hold on one second. Um Hold on one second. Try to copy and paste in browser. It says it's not letting them use the it's not letting them access the camera. We're gonna give them a minute or two. And even if like we're prepared for or I'm prepared for technical issues and whatnot. Appreciate you, BTP Media Group, for tuning in. So I'm definitely prepared if issues come about, because that's the thing with interviews. You could have issues, you could have connection issues, um, browser issues. Their phone might not connect. Like sometimes iPads have issues. Like if you're on Safari, it typically doesn't work good at connecting to StreamYard. But yeah, let me get back in. Here we go. Let's see. There we go. Let's bring on the one and only Elder Sensei from the Artifacts. El,
Yeah,
what's
what's
good,
up? What's
man?
up? Can you
How
hear
you
me?
doing, man? Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm, I'm all right. I just want to make sure I know these headphones can be a little tricky sometimes. The earbuds.
How you doing today?
I'm all right, brother. I'm all right. I'm in Manhattan right now. I'm in Union Square. I actually about to meet up with my man Jake Palumbo right now, so we can do some new music.
Okay, yeah, I was actually while I was waiting for you to come on, I was, I posted on Reddit, what people thought of your first album. It was just kind of going through the comments and stuff. I want to start with something I noticed in the comments. It seems like y'all pulled in a lot of graffiti fans with y'all's
Yeah,
first
yeah,
single.
definitely.
What was that like?
That was it was crazy, man. Like it's like me and Tame didn't make wrong side of the track. It just happened. We actually we was at Lord Jamar from Brand Nubian. We was at his crib and we was about to work on some music with them. And he asked us what we was about, just like you just asked me the same question. And we told him, we was still b boys in the '90s, and this was like maybe 1990, 91.
Uh-huh.
And he said, "Well, won't y'all write about that?" So we made, and that day in his crib, we made Wrong Side of the Tracks, wrote it right there. If you want to hear the demo version of that, you can go on YouTube and put in Wrong Side of the Tracks demo for Wrong Side of the Tracks. Lil Jamar did the hook originally, and he did the beat. And what y'all know what the beat today was only because we couldn't clear the sample for the James Brown loop that Jamar had for the song. So when we made the song, we didn't realize what we had did. We just like was making a song that about something that we normally do. But at the time we made this song, and when we got the deal on Big Beat Atlantic, we still had the song, so we knew we had to change the beat and everything. Yo, I swear to God, a pigeon just almost flew by me. So we just changed the beat up, and the beat you hear that was T Ray. He helped make the track with us. He produced it, and the song came out the way it did. And we had a listening party for all the magazines and writers and everything. And people from the label was at the meeting, and they saw the response we got from the song. And every writer that was in there was like, "Yo, can you play it again? Play it again. Play it again." Like 8 times they played the song. So I can say that that day we knew that was going to be the single because a person from the label rep that was there was like, "Well, I guess we know what the single going to be." And that single rings true to a lot of people because it's where I'm 53 years old. So people that grew up with me
Yeah.
understand, that's what we were living. Tane was an avid graffiti artist, way more than me. He did a lot of things that I couldn't do, and he did a lot of things early in his age as well. So we did a song, and Tame in one of his lines, he said, "I'm the art part. You want facts and rap, talk to L." And that pretty much was our group, And but we represented. I mean, we both active graffiti artists, but Kane was that guy, And we let it be known, like this guy was a guy that used his tag name as his stage name. That's unheard of. So that alone just shows you where we was at with it, where we was just out in the open, and a lot of people thought we was graffiti artists trying to be rappers, but it was the opposite. We
And
was everything. We DJ, we b boys, rap, make beats. We did all of this before we put these records out. But significantly, Wrong Side pretty much spoke to who was people that could relate to who we were, people that could relate to being graffiti artists and being the same thing as we were. B boys, we all grew up in the same era, So like, it didn't. It made sense kind of for us to make that record.
now, how did you and Tame meet?
It's wild. Me and Tane had the same friends. growing up. We just didn't know each other. Uh, happened to be friends with my man Jay Byrne. Jay Byrne was on the song "Attack on New Jerusalem" on the first album, and he was the reason why me and Tame got together. And my man Polo Ice, he was also instrumental in getting us together. So we had a crew called the Boss Mob, and I used to go over there to do my demos, but Tame was never there. So one day I went, and I saw his name on the wall at in my man's room. I said, "Yo, so he be here?" He's like, "Yeah, he rapped too," and he played me one of his songs. And Tame's song was just as good as. And mind you, I only knew him from doing graffiti, only seeing
Okay.
his name on the wall. So once I got to meet him, like we clicked like that. Like instantly, we started making songs. We was together all the time, making demos. At Rhino's crib, until we got to the point where we got serious and we actually, got a record deal. Through working with Stretch and Bobito. But it took us from the time I met him was like '88, and
Okay.
we was signed in '93. So
Damn.
it was like we went through all the preliminary talent shows in the neighborhood. We went through all of the we did only thing me and Tame didn't do was all of the demo shit, like listen to my demo, going to the labels and playing, trying to get a deal. We didn't do that. The talent spoke for itself. Once we got invited to go to Stretch and Bob, which was because of Tame, he beat somebody in a battle, and the next week they told him he could come up to the show. And we was a group that we was called That's Them. It wasn't no artifacts or nothing. We was That's Them.
Y'all, that's them. So y'all was
Yeah,
the second album's title name was y'all's group name.
exactly. So I'm about to get I'm gonna get into that, but when we Tame got a chance to go up there, he's like, "Yo, I'm gonna bring my man with me." And we went up to the Stretch and Bob, and we had 15 minutes to rock. And we put that Zulu War Chant record on, and it was a rap. And from there, Stretch and Bob was like, "Whoa, where y'all from?" We like Jersey. They couldn't believe we was from Jersey, because everybody knew what Jersey hip hop was at the time. Naughty by Nature, Redman, Lords of the
Yeah.
Underground. And when we came, we pretty much brought the hip hop element from Jersey to and let people see in New York that it pretty much did exist. Like people thought we was because we was from Jersey, we was down south or something like that. We right across the water. So we
Now,
always tell people like we saw the same videos y'all saw.
yeah, the South is actually where I'm from, the Fayettenam right now. Now,
Okay, okay.
y'all's first album, y'all had Buck Wild producing
Mhm.
and T Ray from Soul Assassins, and he's a West Coast
Right.
producer, right?
Actually, T Ray is from I want to say South Carolina.
Is he? Wow,
Yeah.
that's so
If I
okay.
if I'm, I
I did
might be
not know
wrong.
that
It's in
one.
North If it ain't North Carolina, South Carolina is North Carolina, but he's from the South.
But it was like y'all had that up north sound, and T Ray kind of had that, I guess, that Cypress Hill sound somewhat with
Yes,
it.
because he was working with them at the time. Yes.
Yeah, how did that come about? When y'all had both of them.
Well, T Ray pretty much was already like kind of in house, because he
Okay,
was working with a group down south, which Sean J. Period was in the group with them.
okay,
So he was producing for Double X Posse. For people who don't know, T Ray produced
right there.
Headcracker. He produced Not Gonna Be Able to Do It. So
Okay,
like once we got our deal, the label, our A&R was like, okay, who y'all want to work with? Of course, we was like
yeah.
Primo, Pete Rock, and Lars Pro. He was like, yo, y'all ain't got no money for that. We was like, we ain't understand none of that. We was like, what you mean no money? We just got a deal. I was like, nah, not them dudes. So he said we got T Ray. So we had heard of T Ray. So when we Reef told me where T Ray was gonna be in the studio. At the time, he was helping edit the Headcracker video for Double X, and I met him there. Me and Tame, got to go to his crib because at the time T Ray was living in Brooklyn, and we used to go to his house out there and make pretty much listen to beats, and we got locked in with him like real good. He did the majority of the album, so like T Ray, even when you listen to what he was doing with everybody else, when you listen to what he did with us, it was like maybe because we was chilling with him and being at his crib, he got to know me and Tame a little bit better than the other producers. You know, it was besides Redman, but we got to be at his house and he got to see pretty much who me and Tame was, like from the records we was looking at in his crib. Like
Yeah,
Roadside of the Tracks came because we was, T Ray had so many records in his basement, like just a sea of records, and he knew everything was at rows and rows of records in the basement. And we knew what the sample was, and Jack Bruce's horn came out of nowhere, but drums, everything, we knew what that was. But we always said, man, I don't care. We're gonna use Night Creation, Bubblegum, because we always liked the record. And we knew who used it. We knew everybody that used it. But we said, let's try and do it in our own way. Once we added the drums and the bass was in there, and that Night Creation bass line for that song just be walking. But when we found the horn on the Bruce record, it just solidified it from there. We was like, oh yeah, like this is gonna work, And then to have that song be the way it was, knowing we did it first with Lord Jamar, like I said, we didn't know. We knew when we picked out them samples, oh, this is gonna be the one right here, And then we just was like, yo, let's just put the words from the old song with this one, and I did the hook over it, and because Brand Nubian was on tour, so doing that with Todd, pretty much was like the backbone of the record. It was the majority of the record was with him. So we kind of turned him into something like we were. Like
yeah,
he didn't his those beats he did with us didn't sound like Soul Assassin beats and didn't sound like nothing that he was giving to anybody else. So it pretty much showed us, the chemistry as fast as we was working with him. When we listened to Dynamite Soul, way back. All of these songs, Placing with the Tech. We had just walked in the studio and we heard the beat playing and from the elevator. We was like, damn, what's that? We ran to the room, bro. We ran to the room and was looking at him like, yo, so like, who's that for? He said, hey, and Ty was from the side was like, hey man, what y'all want? Hey, y'all want that? Y'all, hey man, it's yours. You can take it. We was like, all right, we sat there and wrote some L's and we started writing right there on the spot. Buck Wow, it was the same way. Buck, again, we don't have money for these big name producers. So I was like, well, being an avid fan of Stretch and Bobbito, I heard this song. So I said, yo, who did the beat for the Camp Front joint with Sadat and Diamond? And Finesse,
yeah,
he's like, oh, that's Buck Wild. That's Buck Wild. I said, yeah, well, call him. Call him. And we met Buck at the studio. Uh, and he had his SP. And that's this same day we met Rock Raider. Because Raider was doing cuts for him. He was like his designated DJ,
okay,
so when he do records. So he was working, and because Buck was working with OC, that's and Raider did cuts on OC's album as well. So we had him,
yeah,
we met him, and we told him in right there we wanted to work with him instantly. Like Buck just started putting on beats, and he put on a couple of tracks, and then he played the Come On With the Get Down original version. We was like, damn, what's that? And it was the same drums from the Camp Front joint, but we didn't care, man. We listening to that sample with that, it worked. And we was like, okay, that's song number one. We did three with Buck. And to work with Buck like early DITC,
yeah,
and then to get to work with all of them after a while. Showbiz,
yeah.
we did a remix with him. Easy LP. I always say he's like the unofficial DITC member, but he's there. So yeah, man, it was good to, and then it was only just T Ray, Buck, and Redman on the record,
Yeah.
totally as far as production. So that's why I said the heavy meat of the record is with T Ray.
Is it Redman supposed to be like Tame One's cousin or something?
Now I don't know if anybody saw my interview that I did with Peter Rosenberg for the Juan Epstein episode. I just want everybody to know Tame and Red are not cousins, but
Okay.
it's like how you say in the hood. He's like my cousin right here, whatever, whatever. So
Yeah.
but I introduced them, and from there we all became friends. We used to make freestyle tapes in Red Basement, and I'm not like I hope I'm not bursting a lot of people's bubble, but if you look at them two together and you stand them side by side, they don't look related at all. So, so I'm
Yeah,
just
that's
gonna
why
say,
I said or something, because
right, right, right.
I've always heard that they were cousins and stuff. You know how these rumors be,
Street
man.
cousin, street cousin.
That's like they said for a while when what Screech from Saved by the Bell was old boy for the Beastie Boys brother for a while.
Oh wow, I never heard that. That's a new one.
Yeah, they kind of look like. Now the second album, which I felt like was actually better than the first, y'all had Sean J.
Wow.
Period produce
Yeah.
majority of the album. Do you felt
Yep.
like he gave you the artifact sound still? That's artifact
Hell
sound,
yeah. Hell
but
yeah.
like it also fit with the times.
It was. I would say this. It might have been a little bit too futuristic for some. Coming from where we came from with the first album, where it was a lot of digging, a lot of like I would say not so familiar samples.
Uh huh.
But once we got, that was 2 years, from '94 to '96, and music changed.
Yeah.
So when you listen to that album, you can pretty much continue on to Raucous from our record, where you see Most Def Kweli came in. A lot of the sound bombing they was using Sean J. Period for these records.
Yeah.
It was in the vein of what we was already doing. So like I feel as though we just was a little bit faster than everybody else as far as the movement goes. And but we knew working with Sean, like that was what we were supposed to have been doing. We knew
Yeah.
that was the sound we was looking for. Because the thing I try to tell people when they think about artifacts, I just try to tell people like I'll even ask people myself like when you think of artifacts, what do you think of when you think of the music? They like bass lines and hard drums and scratching and just it's very eclectic and that was on purpose because we didn't want to work with producers that would just give us something that would sound like somebody else would use or we had to listen to that beat and it's like you can only hear me and Tame on there or only myself. So that's where a lot of the sound came from. And if we could have made these beats that we had got, that's how they would have came out. But they happened to be done by the people we was picking. And Sean J was so ingenious in what he was doing. It was like we had to work with him. And he was playing a lot of the music. Wasn't no sampling. We learned a lot from that. Sean still don't sample. So it was something that we had to do, that like to differentiate ourselves. Because you think, 96, 97, music totally changed after that. It went the
Yeah.
money route. That was the last, 98 was the last year for all of the real hip hop that was on the major labels. And then it changed after that.
Yeah, yeah, and I didn't realize that he didn't use no samples, but all the beats were really, really dope on there, man. And
Really. And they really crispy.
yeah,
It was a joy to sit in the studio and watch him mix with my man Duro. Like Sean really knew what he was doing. It was a really very clean mixed record, and for us to go out on that record as our last album, I'm it was like a movie
yeah,
that people wanted to go see but didn't go see it, but then when they hit on cable, like yo, I just seen that shit. I should have went to the movie to see it. So it's like that with that record.
now, as a solo artist, my favorite record from you has been "Crowd Pleaser,"
Mm.
produced by Ill Mind. Is there one for
Yeah,
you that stands out the most as a solo?
that one and definitely crowd pleaser. Um, I'll say another song that was like a little sneaky hit was "Summertime Blues," and I didn't realize how much of an impact that record made, and it was a single that Fat Beats had put out. So I just, I had a lot of people come to me about that record, how much they liked it. I got a couple of spins on like TV shows and stuff like that. So I guess because of the sound of it, the tempo, the happiness in the music, maybe, but definitely crowd pleasing. I know for a fact, through a lot of the records I've done in my career, that is my hit record, like solo wise, like by myself. And every time I do it, it almost feel like it's a new record. I was actually scared to make that record When I first got into it, I was recording that album. I kept doing every other beat except for that one. And my man, P Original, may he rest in peace. He was sitting. I got to his crib and I sat down and I went in the room and I in the studio room and I put one of the beats on and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this one today. He asked me like, yo, why you don't mess with the other beat though? I said, which one? He said that one Illmind did. I said,
Yeah,
hey, I said I gotta sit down for that one. I can't just like say anything on that one, Pete. So I
yeah.
gotta give me some time. I'll come back and do it the next time. So he went in the room. I started rolling the L. He goes in the room and the music cut off. And I was like, yo, what happened? Yo, he turned the crowd please beat on. He put the crowd pleaser beat on. He said, "No." He said, "We're doing this today because it was like the ninth song, like maybe the seventh song I did." So I kept passing it by. He said, "Nah, we're doing this shit today because I want to see what the fuck you gonna say on this. I want to see what you're gonna
Yeah.
do." Man, I wrote all that right there at the table. He said, "Don't even worry about rolling nothing. Just keep writing." So I'm writing. He's blowing. We smoking, writing, and then I got done. I did that record in like 3 takes because I told him I said, yo, after this one, I'm gonna do it right here. I'm gonna practice. I'm gonna get it right. But after I do these right here, I ain't doing this shit no more because it was so hard. The beat was so challenging. It was fast. So I just knew I was like I got to do my best on this one.
I
So
know
that
you said
that
you
that
gotta.
is my favorite one.
I know you said you gotta link up with somebody. So how much more time you think you got?
I'm good. My man Jake, look, Jake, wait,
Okay,
hold up.
I
He,
got.
he's
I mean,
he's right there. My man Jake
okay,
Palumbo right there.
I got a couple more questions. So we got a artist that actually moved to Raleigh, Sadat X. You did the song
Yeah.
with him. How did that come
hmm
about? When y'all ended up doing the song?
Well, me and X got a whole album called XL. It came out
Oh, that's
2018.
right. Yeah, yeah, I forgot
Yes,
about
indeed.
that.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, we put that record out on vinyl digital, the German label. That record was so fucking fun to make, so dope because we talking about meeting them in 1990,
Yeah,
and then and people we was at a party for Smith and Wesson and Pete Rock for their album release party, and we did an interview right on the spot with this guy. And right after the interview, he said, "Yo, y'all ever think about doing an album together?" X was with his manager, I was with a friend of mine, and we just looked at each other like. We never even thought of that. I've known him since '90. That's it. So
yeah.
we just once we made that, we looked at each other, we made that decision. We was off to the races, started recording. It took us a while to do it though. We were still doing artifacts and brand new band and dot stuff, Elder Sensei stuff. So it took us about like 6, 7 years to make the album, but it came
Yeah.
out so damn good, and that was a testament to patience and actually getting it right. And actually, my man Jake mixed that record for us. So
Okay.
that's why it came out perfect too. Mixed and
Now,
mastered it.
see, I'm glad you reminded me about that because when that album dropped, I remember saying to myself, "This is what we need to see more from the artists we grew up from that era. They need to kind of come together and work on projects together more. Like you said, Pete Rock and the Smith and Wesson. I remember that was a really dope project.
Right. And look at
Um,
even now, Pete Rock and Common. All very
yeah,
straight,
Pete Rock
straight.
and Common. Yeah, I think we need to see more of that from artists
Yeah,
in that era, just kind of
me and
working
X gonna do
together.
another one. We're gonna be working on the next one soon. We got all the beats picked out. It's just that he's out in Raleigh, and I'm up
Yeah.
here, so we couldn't record as much as we did before. But we're gonna start working on it.
Now, at 53, man, you still one of the illest dudes to grab a mic, dopest MCs. Like, what motivates you still to this day?
Well, there's a few other. Well, I can't even say a few. There's a lot of other MCs that's out here working that been rocking with since the beginning. So whether if it's a Paramount or a Common,
Yeah.
people at these shows we go to, a lot of the legends do shows. So when I see my friends getting busy, there's a lot of newer artists that I like too. I like Scott Zoom, Marco Polo,
Okay.
look, Ace, Torre, Ace still out here rocking, making good ass albums. So when I see that, that motivates me. That get me going. To keep my pen sharp. And it's hard to let this go. Honestly, nobody gonna tell you that they're gonna stop. Especially when you're doing it in a right way where is working for you, and you can pay your bills and not look at it as just a hobby. So this is what I'm doing. This is my work, and I, like I said, I pay my bills doing this, and I do it because I love it. I work with people that love doing it as well, and we make as long as you make good, you only as good as your last record. So every record that I'm making, I know got to be my like some prime premium music to even still get people to give me deals. So it's like this is the thing that I've been able to polish and get right, and actually, that's the hardest thing I tell people when they ask for advice. Like, yo, I can't give you advice on how good you can be to make people purchase your music. That's going to be up to the artist and themselves. Because I had to answer that. And once me and Tane got our deal, once we made music that was for everybody, we was able to keep going.
I got one more question. And I'm gonna let you go here, even though I did want to kind of get in the thing you were talking about with the logo I seen where you posted. But
Yeah, no, we can get into that real quick too. I know we got a little
okay.
time.
So in 2021, y'all got back together. You released the album, No Expiration Date. I was listening to it
Mhm.
today. All songs produced by Buck Wild, and then Tame passed. I mean, how hard was that moment for you?
Well, to do that record and all of this the stuff that we went through to get it made, just the vinyl plant getting burned down in Germany and have to get another one in Amsterdam. Just the whole presentation of the label and putting it together right to have it come out. And, James didn't make it long enough to see the record come out. He
Yeah,
saw it. He saw the record. He saw the artwork and everything like that, but he didn't get to see the record come out. And the last time I saw him in October, and when he came to my crib, he asked me to play the record. And while we were listening to it, he was just like, "Yo, this shit is so fire, bro." Because he came, he was doing a lot of stuff, working and stuff like that. So he didn't go see me do the process. Like he did his bars and that was it. So he didn't come. He
yeah,
didn't get to go to the mix sessions, a lot of the mastering, all of this stuff. So he just only did his verses and then heard the final product. So he was like, "What the hell?" So like he heard the master version while we was in the car, and he just looked. I looked at him in the back seat, and he looked at me like, "What the fuck?" He's like, "Yo, bro." I was like, "You happy with it?" He said, "Am I happy?" Your
yeah,
boy was really, really happy with that record, you know. And that's the only thing for me that's kind of crushing because when the vinyl came to my house and everything like that, and when it got released, he wasn't here. So
damn.
that's the only thing for me.
Now, I seen a post that you posted about the Artifacts logo,
Hmm.
where I guess somebody was trying to come at you for copyright infringement or something on it.
Well, it wasn't somebody. It's actually Tame One's mother.
Okay,
So
yeah, Tame's mother, yeah.
if people know the situation, it's people that know and some people that don't know. But is I'm going to just keep it honest. When somebody's been there, all through this whole process of maintaining, doing all of the things we've been doing,
Uh,
is one constant thing that been happening. His mom is like the K Solo song. Your mom's in my business. So
yeah,
it's like now that he's gone, she's just relentless with it now, like
yeah,
but for no reason. With business wise, me and Tame split everything. The
yeah,
only thing Tame didn't do was do merch,
yeah,
and he had every opportunity to do it, just like his mom's has every opportunity, but I can't call it on why she want to go this route because the thing I said, only way I'm sharing money with anybody, and I told Tame the same thing. If you're not gonna put in with me to make this merch, I can't share no money with you.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like we investing in a company together. Like I can't just he would expected money for free just because he was in the group, but he knew how much that cost me to make all this stuff. It's not free. So I got printing people doing stuff, two different people doing the printing, and one is in California and one is in New Jersey. So he knew it was. Let's just say if it was easy as just give me if it costs 500 to make a couple of dozen shirts, I only ask him for 250, and
yeah,
then that's all I ask, and then I give him his bread in the end. but we never got to that point. So like now that he's gone, his mother, even with me doing everything I was doing already, she felt like, yeah, she's head of his estate and everything like that. But there's a lot of things that I did and set up for Tame where, when he was gone, this is why she's able to eat now off of what he's been doing from, that I set up, that was set up for, I won't say I set it up, but it was things
Yeah.
that I was setting up for where, you know, in the later rounds of what we're doing right now, you want money to come in when you're not doing albums, when you're not doing tours. So it was things that I was trying to tell Team business wise we can do to help ourselves, which we did. But now, this going on, and I got ways around all of this stuff. Even and look, you can look it up yourself when we get off here. Go to
Uh-huh.
USPTO and you'll see the trademark and who owns it right now. You'll see her lawyer name in there. So when people ask me, what's going on, I'm like, look, you can look for yourself. Just put in
Yeah.
artifacts in the trade, and you'll see and you'll see me protesting it.
Yeah.
And as far as like showing the people there, like she don't own this, and she just wanted to own it just so she could try to stop me from doing what I'm doing. I'm just thinking honestly, it's not really like, that I'm saying that's like, oh my god, but it is true that you know his mom is trying to do that, and it can be slick, it can be whatever you want to call it, but at the end of the day, the logo is just the logo, and there's a lot
It's
more
a
things that
dope
me and
logo.
right, but it's I got a whole new thing about to come with this merch, and it ain't like I gotta, she doesn't even own the logo, but
Yeah.
she's trying to own the trademark, so I can't make shirts, or if I do, I gotta share with her,
So you just
you know.
decided to just make a new logo, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, I'm about to switch all this stuff around. Some people have gotten it right on what they think I'm gonna do, so
Yeah.
but it's gonna get bigger now because it's making me stretch it out into things that I wasn't thinking about doing before.
That's what's up.
No doubt.
And before we go, any shout outs you want to do?
Yeah, man. Shout out to everybody that's in here listening and checking me out, watching. I want to let everybody know everything's good. Your boy is good. Lot of stuff about to happen. A lot of music about to go down. Like I said, my brother Jake Palumbo, right there. We about to work
What
on this
up,
new
Jake?
solving cases part two. We had part one. We were working on this new one. And yeah, man, it's about to get cold, so we about to be hibernating up in the studio and making all this music happen, brother.
I appreciate you taking time out your schedule, man. I also do live music reviews on Saturdays. So any new music you want
Okay,
reviewed, definitely I'll send an email over.
definitely. I will send you some music.
And any way I can support, man, I am, man. I'm a big fan,
I
man.
appreciate you. I appreciate you, and trust me, we gonna speak again. I'm gonna be back on here, and we gonna be talking about something totally different, but it's gonna be happy vibes because the music is coming. A lot of music is coming.
And I'm gonna have a bunch of clips coming out of this interview. And
Okay.
as soon as I get off here with you, I'm gonna go and read the comments for the second album that people posted on Reddit. So
No doubt.
go
And
through
look,
those.
everybody, like I said, thank you everybody for checking me out on here, supporting artifacts, just like rocking with us for all the years that we've been making this music. And there's the next chapter coming along. So, man, y'all don't even realize this music that's about to come. So I'll just say we're gonna have a remix album for no expiration date, all new beats, all because I didn't feel like we got to get the record out there to the whole, masses. So now we got a whole different plate for everybody with new tracks on it, different producers, new producers. But y'all gonna love it, man. Y'all gonna like it.
That's what's up, man. Keep me in touch, man.
No doubt,
You
no
have a
doubt. I
nice
got
night, man.
you too, brother.
All right,
Peace.
peace. Well, there you go. Another interview with another dope MC guy who definitely left his mark on hip hop culture and hip hop. Definitely had a lot of graffiti artists loving his music. And I want to go through some of these comments. We read the comments on the first album. I mean, pretty much everybody was saying it was dope. Some people said it was the top 10, top 20 album for sure. graffiti artists said they basically it made them like pretty much fall in love with the album and the song. But then I posted, what is your opinion of the second album, Artifacts? That's Them. Great. This is actually I actually like the second better than the first. Album is great, start to finish. Too bad they didn't make more RP Chain One, but they did make a third one because Elder Sensei he just said that the third album did come out, but he's actually gonna re-release it with all new beats. And Buck Wild produced the whole third album. Um, love this album. Prefer it to Rock in a Hard Place, and so do I. Underground classic. Love it. Love it. Great album. Shit Goes Ham, classic. Yeah, that's a great album. One of my favorites. Good album. Not quite as great as Rockin' a Hard Place, in my opinion. I would disagree on that, but music is subjective. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. Wow, not one RIP for Tame One out of all these comments. Uh somebody said false. Yeah, because there was actually one up here at the top. And definitely rest in peace to Tame One, man. As you heard in the interview, he died the same year they released that third album. One of the best, one of my favorites, amazing album. Fucking dope, so fucking good. Underrated banger. Started an era of mainstream underground records. And it did. It kind of like Elder Sensei was saying, it kind of launched around that time when all that lyricist lounge started coming out. And you had Cage and Tame One doing a lot of stuff together. 30 Bum Rush is elite. I love that track. Hella good. Yeah, everybody that commented definitely said they loved the album. Dope album. I don't really see nobody trashing it. I definitely gave it a listen. And that's the thing. He said in an interview that the title of the second album, That's Them, that used to be their rap group name. It used to be That's Them. It wasn't the Artifacts originally. And I'm looking at the Artifacts, like that graffiti font, man. It is so dope, man. It's so dope. And it's kind of messed up that he's dealing with that with the logo and whatnot. But yeah, let me get into this quick little topic before I go, because they got BKFC 66, I think it is tonight. You got Reba versus Blas and a bunch of other dope fights as well. So appreciate Elder Sensei for taking this time out. As you see, it was starting to get dark. He was in the park. Had his homeboy Jake waiting. I guess Jake does all the mixing and mastering. Um, we still got John Jones in the building. Appreciate you. Still got the Artifacts marker. Uh, Chris Porterfield tuned in today too. Appreciate you. I want to talk about this Kendrick Lamar performing at the Super Bowl. Everybody's going batshit crazy, which is it's kind of crazy because they flip flopping now. Like everybody was all on Kendrick's side when he was battling Drake, and Drake and Wayne are like this. And now that Wayne doesn't get picked for the Super Bowl in New Orleans, which they done had the Super Bowl in New Orleans like damn near a half a dozen times. Damn near half a dozen times, and none of those times had Lil Wayne either. So nobody talking about that. Um, I think they got the right choice. I think they got the right choice. First of all due respect to Lil Wayne, but Lil Wayne has not been considered top 3 in the game for the last decade. That's been Kendrick, Drake, and Cole. Kendrick, Drake, and Cole. So there's that. Um, you seen some of these performances of Lil Wayne? They're lackluster. I've seen some awful ass performances from Lil Wayne. I've seen the videos out there. There's some awful ass performances from Lil Wayne. I think about the Super Bowl. Super Bowl, like the NFL is a league of guys who are looked up as role models. So we don't need the guy who probably openly I know they say he's off of the liquid codeine, but I don't know about that. He talks like he's still on it. I swear he talks like his his speech be slurring like he's still on that liquid codeine. Like Kendrick is just the right guy. Kendrick has been the hottest rapper and the hottest musician of this year. I mean, all due respect to Taylor Swift, only they only been talking about her when she at the Chiefs games or she's with Travis Kelsey or something. Then nobody talking about Taylor Swift's music this year. I can tell you that much. There's a damn fly flying around here, buzzing in my face. I'm about to swat the hell out of that motherfucker. So Kendrick's number one artist of this year. He just broke records on Spotify for the most streamed song for battle, and it's a battle record at that. He's been top 3 in the last decade. Last decade, he's been top 3. He's probably put out the most classic albums in the last decade for any artist in the mainstream hip hop. Um, said Taylor. Taylor sent that fly. Yeah, Taylor sent that fly pretty swift, didn't she? Damn fly. I'm about to karate chop this bitch like Bruce Lee and shit. But yeah, man. I mean, like, I'm cool with Kendrick. Kendrick is a better performer. I mean, did you see Kendrick doing that little 5 minute or 15-minute joint at the Super Bowl when they had Dre out there? I mean, he brought a whole crowd of motherfuckers out there with him, man. He had a whole army and gang of motherfuckers out there with him, killing it, yo. Kendrick is definitely a top tier performer of putting on a show. You seen that show he put on in like the Lakers arena, man. He's top tier, yo. Number one artist of the year. And then like people get mad at Jay-Z and whatnot, and apparently Jay-Z doesn't have the final say so. Apparently, from what I heard, rumor is that the city has the final say so. Like I said, let's Google how many times the Super Bowl was in New Orleans. How many times the Super Bowl was in New Orleans? I mean, like, I guarantee it's a half a dozen times, man. There it goes, right there. How many times has the Super Bowl been in New Orleans? This shit been in there 10 times, man, since 1967, man. It's been in there a few times in my lifetime. I could tell you that much. So, like, let's pump the brakes. His own city apparently didn't want him. He's not a better performer than Kendrick. He ain't had a hotter year. He ain't been top 10 or top 3 in the last 10 years. Soon as he signed Drake took that spot from him. I agree, man. Kendrick is a dope choice. He's the go-to guy right now, man. You know? Um I would if anybody else I wanted, like, let's get Cole up there. Let's have Cole perform at the Super Bowl. I would have loved that. J. Cole at the Super Bowl. That'd have been big. You talking about putting on for the city. That'd have really been putting on for the city, man. Really, really been put on for the city. But yeah, y'all, and then like people out here, like a lot of those same people that was picking Kendrick over Drake are the same people that's picking siding with Wayne should be performing at the Super Bowl over Kendrick. Cause now y'all trying to rile it up and try to make it a Wayne versus Kendrick thing. And I hate to say it, man. If Wayne tries to call out Kendrick on a song, pump the fucking brakes, man. Let's pump the fucking brakes. He probably gonna be at the auto tuning and shit. It ain't gonna be all that. Like, unless you gonna get like Carter 2 or 3, whatever it was, when Wayne came straight out of prison. You're gonna get like Dr. Carter Wayne and all that. I ain't trying to hear it, man. Ain't too many cats that could go up against Kendrick right now. I wouldn't put my eggs in that basket, man. They're gonna get crushed. Would not put all my eggs in that basket of trying to go against Kendrick. I don't know. I mean, Cole bowed out. Cause as you see what was gonna happen, man, Shit, if Cole didn't bow out, he'd have probably got the Not Like Us would have probably went to him too. Wayne is fun on my one of Kendrick's favorites. The outside noise is funny. Yeah, yeah, and I didn't even really listen to what Wayne had to say about his reply. I kind of listened to the beginning of it. He sounded kind of like he was on the lean still, the codeine. But yeah, the media always takes a lot of this and runs with it, man, and amps it up. It's like my social media timeline. Like, if I go to my social media timeline, this is the main things that you see on my social media timeline that they try to push. So I mainly see a lot of Jordan versus LeBron. So it's either post with LeBron stands hating on Jordan, or smart Jordan fans hating on LeBron. And then you get then if it ain't that, it's Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark. So it'd be like the Angel Reese haters doing the post trying to discredit Caitlin Clark, and then vice versa. Caitlin Clark uh stands doing a post trying to, hate on Angel Reese. And then my timeline will typically be filled with post of how I need to hate Donald Trump, but and then the opposite post to be I need to love Kamala or Kamala Harris. Like, the media pushes this stuff. That's why they want your face in this. I I figured that shit out. They want your face in this shit so they can force feed their agendas to you. Cause as long as your face stays in there, they're gonna force feed what you want. So you're gonna get you better hate Trump, better love Kamala. You pick a side. You either hate Angel Reese or hate Caitlin Clark, you know. And both sides are hypocritical, man. Like they always talk about the race baiting on one side, but never the other. And then the Michael Jordan and LeBron fans, I mean, it's pretty much the same thing too, man. Well, I don't know. I can't call them Michael Jordan fans hypocrites because he is the GOAT. He is the GOAT. He is the GOAT. But yeah, man, y'all, it's like y'all trying to force feed the agendas on the phones. Y'all try to race bait us with these posts. Like I can't stand the WNBA, man. But like y'all make me interested in this whole shit because I see like motherfuckers attacking somebody just because they fucking busting your ass on the court. I see somebody busting somebody's ass on the court and I see him getting attacked and shit. And then I see somebody uplifting the league, but I saw a bunch of women bitching and complaining about we need more awareness and attention to this league. Then you got like I won't call her the Michael Jordan or the Larry Bird of the league. She's more like the Steph Curry of the league, but she passes a lot more than Steph Curry. So she's more like whoever, like she's like the Tyrese Halliburton plus Steph Curry of the league. And she's like, this is the thing. Like, if you go look up like the average range that NBA players shoot their threes, Steph Curry is like shoots back pretty far. Dame Lillard shoots back way further than him. But Caitlin Clark's average threes are even further than both of them. And she's the number one passer in the WNBA. She leads the league in passes per game percentage as a rookie. She's already got her team in the playoffs. She I mean, it's like, and you clearly know like she got the rookie locked up because like it's such a disingenuous argument. Everything in the WNBA pretty much is a disingenuous argument, but like they sitting there trying to give Angel Reese, and all due respect to Angel Reese, she be playing hard. She gets her double doubles, but nobody wins Rookie of the Year based off of rebounds. It's an offensive award. Rookie of the Year, MVP. These are awards for offensive players, man. There's no award for number one rebounder in the league. There's defensive player and there's offensive player awards. That's it. You don't win awards for rebounding. So we got to pump the brakes if thinking just because somebody's out rebounding everybody that she should win the award. No, who's scoring the most? That's the player that has the biggest impact on their team is the player that scores the most, not the person who rebounds the most. That'd be like saying Rudy Gobert is the number one player on the Minnesota Timberwolves because he rebounds and he is overrated in defense. That's what y'all trying to do. It's like y'all trying to get Rudy Gobert the like a rookie of the year or MVP award right now, man, because he's out rebounding everybody. It don't this is an offensive award, man. So everything in the WNBA is disingenuous. Like the fact that they lose 10 to 20 million a year and they want to make the same percentage profit margin as the NBA and they lose 20 million a year for the last 20 something years. You ain't made a single profit, but you want to make the same percentage profit as a $1 billion league. It sounds like a bunch of delusion and entitlement to me, man. But we about to wrap this up, man. I think they got it right with Kendrick. 2024 number one artist in the world right now over Taylor Swift. Nobody talking about no Taylor Swift songs this year. You can't name one song that anybody's like, yo, Taylor Swift song dropped this year. Nobody said nothing about. All they talking about is her calling up the game plan for the Chiefs. She might be calling plays for the Chief. Andy Reid might be, she be up in the box up there, watching her little boo, Travis Kelsey play and whatnot. And so she might be calling some shots up there in the box, and that's about it. But that's all they talking about. Like when she gonna be at the next Chiefs game, and the fact that she endorsed Kamala Harris. That's it. That nobody talking about her music over no Kendrick Lamar right now. I could tell you that much. Kendrick's number one this year. Top three in the last decade or more. Got at least 2 classic albums under his belt. Um, Dropped way less music than Drake and Cole to stay top 3. He ain't even dropped this many albums in those guys, and he's still. I mean, there's 3 or 4 years go by, he ain't drop an album. People still like Kendrick top 3, and you see, I mean, he proved it still. I mean, to this day. And to be honest with you, man, like he almost kind of like Ja Rule Drake a little bit, man, because Drake ain't Drake ain't looking too good over there right now, man. Drake ain't looking too good over there. He's kind of looking a little Ja Rule-ish right now, And Kendrick does come from that Dr. Dre, Eminem, 50 Cent kind of family tree. So you know what 50 did to Ja Rule. So yeah, Drake's looking a little bit Ja Rule-ish over there. It's kind of smart that Cole kind of bowed out because he might have took some chinks to his armor, man. It might have really tarnished his career a little bit, you know, if he would have tried to go up against K Dot. Well, once again, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. Shouts out to Elder Sensei. Rest in peace to Tame One and DJ Chaos from the Artifacts. Definitely be on the lookout for new music from Elder Sensei. I think he said him and Sadat are going to follow up with another album. And I need to reach out to Sadat. He's up there in Raleigh, man, and try to knock out an interview with him soon. Appreciate everybody that tuned in. I'm about to get off here and I'm about to tune in to these bare knuckle BKFC fights. Appreciate y'all. Peace. And I'm out.